Natural 2 has definitely been a whirlwind of a project to make, and not only in the sense that it was a long and tedious task, but the amount of ups and downs that it went through to even get to a finished product is immeasurable. At the start of the project, I researched a plethora of different stop-motion animations to see if any would inspire me in making my own project. Some of which very much did. However, I figured out an original idea I thought would be really interesting quite early into my project and chose to stick with that.
So it's currently 4:05 in the morning, and despite all of Chris's desperate attempts at telling us don't have a eureka moment, I think I just did.
Despite my incredible enthusiasm about this idea, it was incredibly short-lived, and I had completed research and done developments and made little assets, and then I read the brief. So it turns out I've actually gone and done everything wrong. I didn't read the brief correctly, which is my part. Not great, and I had been planning and researching into so many kind of stop motion 3D animations, and that's not what we're doing. We're doing a kind of 2D look down. Hopefully I can either come up with a new idea or try and work my kind of dice project into 2D. We'll have to see. This was probably the lowest point in the project for me, as I'd already created animatics and visualized exactly what I wanted my ideas to look like, especially my dice idea. And for that to be thrown under the bus with the concept that it can't be 3D, I was stuck and didn't know what to do, so I tried to see what I could do to make it work. So in terms of kind of like progress, I haven't managed to figure out how to do the dice idea, which sucks because that's the main one I was going for. But I've done a lot of experimentation. I'm still kind of doing experimentation. Ideas are showing up a little bit, though not very prominent ones, so I am a little bit concerned that I'm not gonna have anything to submit, or an idea's not gonna pop in my mind, but we can damn well hope so. And believe me, I tried so hard. I was developing different ideas. I was seeing what could work, what could not in a 2D format. I even went back to the plant idea to see how it would look, and nothing was hitting. Nothing seemed right, nothing was going correctly. I was in perhaps the worst stump of my entire project, but I was hopeful nonetheless. And then, as if something above took pity on me, this happened. So a fun little thing happened today. I went to class and I was talking to Chris about my idea, and I was explaining that, hey, I'm not confident in my water idea, and I can do it, but I'm not gonna enjoy doing it. And she tells me that I could have done my dice idea all along. I can do my dice idea. How I'm gonna do it, I have no idea. I have the opportunity to, and I'm gonna take it. So obviously with this new revelation that I could do my dice idea, I immediately booked in a laser cutting session. I decided that I was gonna have my laser cut to be the bench. So I did some laser cutting today, and I've tried as my best to make a bench. It works to an extent, but this part I need to kind of sand down so it slots in, because I printed it at an angle, which is my doing. I eventually got the bench to fit in and work, but then I found out that there was another challenging obstacle, that the dice in itself was far too small for the bench, and it wouldn't let the viewer kind of see it very well, and it would make the bench far too prominent in the video. I'm definitely gonna have to make it out of clay. So I came up with an alternative to make the older dice out of clay. It would be bigger, it would be more prominent in the scene, and it would give this kind of visual aspect that there is a distinct age difference between these two dice, and I think it worked. At this point in time in the project, I had no time left to spare, so I immediately started on making my film. The process of recording was very interesting because I still didn't have a full fixed narrative that I had in mind, but as time went on throughout the recording session, I started coming up with new ideas and how to make the characters interact with each other, what camera shots I wanted to use, and how it would affect the story. Originally, the narrative was going to have a small flashback scene where the older dice kind of relives his past and reflects it on the younger dice, but in this, I just kind of wanted to emphasize the relationship between youth and old. I designed the younger dice to be more active and run around a bit more, and eventually when the older dice doesn't interact as much, it wanders off and goes to collect a flower for it. With the flower scene, I chose to change up the camera angles, which inevitably gave me a look into how I could change up the angles for other parts of the scene, so I did go back and re-record some shots. So what exactly did I learn from this project? Well, for one, had to definitely be communication. I could have immediately fixed my problem from going to my dice idea to a water idea to my dice idea again if I just fully communicated to my tutors that there was an issue and that I wanted it to somehow be fixed. Another would definitely be time management. I feel throughout this project I spent far too much time just wasting it and doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I could have really developed my ideas more thoroughly if I had planned ahead and scheduled my time correctly. But despite all the hardships and problems I encountered with this project, I really do believe that it was incredibly fun to make, and I personally can't wait to make even more stop motion projects. As for right now though, I'm gonna go get some sleep.